staying in the digital space and streaming and shit, we touched on Versus, and we all agree that this was by far the best one.
X gonna give it to you. Hey man, give my nigga his respect.
So where were you going into it, G? Were you in the boat of like this is gonna be a wash for like Snoop was gonna like wash X, or did you think X had a chance?
Nah, I thought X had a chance just because I know how important his first two albums were.
Mm.
So what was that, Flesh of My Flesh and
It's Dark and Hell is Hot.
Yeah.
Lex, where were you?
I knew it was gonna be close. Honestly, I thought it was gonna end up a draw. I didn't
going into it. You thought that?
Yeah, going into it, I thought that.
Wow.
Because I honestly thought the reason Swiss would put Snoop with DMX is because I know Swiss is like DMX don't respect too many people, so he only gonna respect a few. And I know Snoop's gonna be able to big up DMX like how he should be bigged up.
Yeah.
Because Snoop's not tripping about the title of being a winner or anything like that. And I knew how much Snoop
definitely celebration.
Yeah. And Snoop loves DMX. Like if you watch old interviews when X came out, he loved that shit. So
now, so I'm in the minority class. I was walking around going 20 honestly. With
20 for Snoop?
For Snoop. The only giving X a chance for Rough Rider Anthem. Now for Rough Rider Anthem, and that's where I fucked up because I forgot how important Slippin' was to not just the world but to me. Slippin' came on, and I didn't have a lighter, so I took my phone out my pocket in my room by myself and was like this.
I ain't gonna lie, you niggas gonna judge me. Every time I hear Slippin', I get one tear that comes up in the corner of my eye.
You? I had the Denzel Glory tear with my phone in the air, nigga. You got what? Slippin' came on, dog, and I lost it.
I'm sorry, bro. Who We Be, bro. The energy on Who We Be puts me right back in that spot, man. So and also he missed out on doing Damien. I think Damien would have done well.
Yeah.
See, I there was a couple of those where I was like, but even for Snoop's set, there was a few of them where I was like,
no, Snoop left out on the table. Left out on the table.
And ultimately, what I walked away from was like, the 90s is just different. Quality wise, but because and what we got to really, really give, not just X, but more
and
so
phenom wise, like you talk about people that got like really got their own personalities.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not built off of being connected to anybody else. It's like they're their own entities. So when they walk into a room, they are them, and like that's how the room operates. You know what I mean? Like they kind of like when Snoop walk in the room, automatically the room becomes a lot more chill.
Gotcha. Yeah, and what really stood out, G, is when those records came on. Salute to Dame Grease because he don't get enough.
He don't get
at all as a producer. When those records were coming through the speakers, you like, oh, this is different. For both X and for Snoop, but even for Snoop, some of that shit from Doggy Style and the shit he did from Chronic, bro, when that shit hit, you're like, this shit sound fire today. Like from how it's mixed, from the production of it, and I was so grateful that it did those kind of numbers because it was a lot of young niggas in the room that needed to see that, and needed to feel that. And X has a moment there where he just talking about the pain. He's like, yo, write that pain. And so many artists, and you see it in the quarantine, like niggas that's still making club music in the quarantine is the goofiest shit in the world.
You ain't trying to go to Greece? You ain't taking a piece of Greece?
It's like
wait, you trying to tell me Khaled not tuned in?
All right, man. You trying to be funny,
man.
Come on. L acting like a nigga in his background right now. He's all the way out here.
He said anything. He got it.
Hey, respect my man in the rooms right now. He about to tell it all.
Hey, he gonna tell it all, and that nigga don't have no suit pants on. He just got the top. So that sick fuck doesn't get to say anything.
Just the top is nasty.
Thank you, Bean. Bean, say hi to the podcast, Bean. They can't see you. Just say hi.
Bean Gibb. What's up, Bean?
Well, wait, YL talking about the dice game last night. He said we had a dice game phase 10 and dominoes going on at one time.
At one time, y'all take it to the ground.
Oh man.
Hey, B was like she was disowning us for a second. We was gonna play that Bruh, at the restaurant.
At the restaurant, she was done. She was like, I don't want no parts of this. She told Ty, she said, I don't know what I'm gonna tell your kids. I'll figure something out. Oh, it was that shit was fun. But versus though, what was the final score y'all gave it? Did y'all have a winner, or were y'all just like the rest of the world, like, yo, this was just a win for everybody?
I went for the win for everybody. Like, I didn't even score this one because of the fact that it was amazing to hear these songs again, like from X. So X is somebody, especially given all that X has been through, that we like seeing seeing X coherent, like, and just like, you know, feeling. You know, just giving his vibes off, you know what I mean? And then hearing his music, you know what I mean? And just being able to appreciate that for as long as we can have him, bro. I'm with that shit. So I didn't really score this one, to tell you the truth. I thought this one was definitely the first at least rap one where it was just like a celebration.
Nah, this one gave me the same vibes I got from Erica and Jill, where I just was grateful and was reminded of what X meant to my childhood. Like you said it, G, those first two records. And then I don't want people to sleep on, like, because of how
this is
and then there was X. But because of how It's Dark and Hell is Hot and Flesh of My Flesh came out, people always go, yo, he did 2 albums in a calendar year. Yeah, but the pressure that was on him, Dame, Swiss to do it, and then there was X, and for them niggas to deliver the way that they did. Let's say realistically, there's 4 singles that worked on that album, and then the album cuts are crazy. Like, they over delivered on one where the expectations were through the roof. Like, they could have easily failed on that record, and that's what I was reminded of that day, because of how many songs they played off of that one that I just didn't expect them to play. Or not that I didn't expect them to play, I just wasn't ready when they hit. Like,
yeah, it was two completely different feelings though, because like for X, you gotta let the whole thing build, and then by the end you're like, fuck. But then with Snoop, as soon as that beat drops, you're like, fuck. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like Snoop got tracks,
man. But I was happy because I could, based on how it was going, I could pick what Snoop was gonna play next, and it just made me happy. Like how, like, his stories going into it, X's stories going into the songs, like those. That's honestly been the best part of the Versus shit, is when they talk and tell stories in between, like how certain records were made. The Premier RZA one was like that. Jill and Erica were like that. Babyface and Teddy would have been more like that if Teddy just be on his Hollywood shit for real. So it was like he's great. I've seen him speak a few times, and when he gets into like the moderator speaking bag, like he can tell some great stories, but that's just not what he was giving niggas. So, but the best parts of Versus have been when they get in the storytelling bag, where X talks about how he made Get At Me Dog, and was just like, nigga, Snoop, I got that from you. It's like, that shit just it made me happy for hip hop. And then the deal, the deal is the retaining ownership. You know how Apple chose to align and partner with Swiss and Tim and everybody that's doing the Versus shit. It's a real nod to where we can move as black creatives in retaining ownership and thinking of new imaginative ways to celebrate our legends, because rock and roll got to figure it out, all the other genres got to figure it out, and now that getting in that phase where we can start figuring out how to celebrate them. I hope that there is a lane to bring in the older generation and push it even further and go well beyond just celebrating the legends now. Because there's a whole group ahead of these guys that we could, like Rakim needs to do one. You know what I'm saying? Like we really need to consider that shit. And I think it'll be great. Even if you can get into the, like, so, and then the hard part is like so many of them have passed, but our like my mom was hyped for this one. Like this was a really dope thing to share with my parents, but there are artists that go well beyond my reach and even theirs that could be celebrated. So I think it'd be really dope to see Kane and all those people do one for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's definitely around the corner. They can really take it wherever. I'm just glad that they were able to get it with Apple, whatever, and that whole little situation where Drake did mess up no money, because that nigga's the boogeyman. I don't care what anybody say.
Don't put that on Drizzy. Don't dude.
My nigga, that you want to talk about anti-Semitism, bro? You do not talk about that nigga Drake.
But you know what, G? You bring up a great ass point. Because you're speaking of the shit between him and Swiss, right?
Yes, but Drake is connected, my nigga. Like, yeah. And he's connected in the lofts. You know what I mean? So
yeah. No, I hadn't even considered that until just now. Like how long that deal probably was underway, and how much that tension could have undone that whole deal. So it's a great point. I'm really glad that didn't happen. Congrats to Versus, because and then that's the other part too. There's more than just Tim and Swiss. They're the faces. There's a few other really, really awesome people that are attached to that shit too. So salute to everybody with Versus, and salute to Apple for that bet.